Welcome to Celestial Insights, a weekly podcast that brings the stars down to earth. I'm your host, astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks. My purpose is to provide practical, unique, and insightful guidance to help you navigate the energies of the week like a boss. Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and on this episode, I will discuss the astrology for the week of June 29th, 2025. I'm recording this very early because I'm going on vacation, so it's June 19th. And yesterday, the transit was Jupiter in Cancer square Neptune in Aries. Jupiter is protective and Cancer rules the homeland. Neptune is a planet that is associated with the hangman in the tarot. So there are themes of suspense. And Aries rules war. So the President of the United States said he's evaluating whether or not the United States is going to attack Iran, bringing us into this conflict and participating in the war between Israel and Iran, and we'll know within 2 weeks. Neptune also rules propaganda, and the propaganda machines are going wild on social media as well as news channels as anti-war and pro-war factions try to persuade people about whether or not the United States should engage in this war. Your cosmic advantage begins with the Wise Skies digital calendar. With descriptions for every planetary and lunar event, all levels of astrology enthusiasts can enjoy the calendar on any device and now in many languages. With this superpower in your back pocket, you will be fully equipped to understand the astrological weather any day of the week. My good friend and collaborator, Tiffany Herlick, creates this calendar every year, and I use it daily. I highly recommend it. Use my coupon code for $10 off. The code is ABC2025. Let the universe have your back with the Wise Skies digital astrology calendar. The theme of this week is the Medusa myth, and there are 3 big things I want you to think about as you navigate this week. The first is that we have a first quarter moon at 11 Libra on Wednesday, July 2nd. Libra is cardinal air. Cardinal signs are initiating. There is an active nature to them. And air communicates and connects. All the air signs are humane. So we're dealing with matters between people. This is the sign that rules one-on-one relationship. It likes to partner and find win-win solutions to conflicts. This sign is ruled by the planet Venus, which is currently in its other home sign of Taurus, which is Earth. So we may be dealing about themes relating to relationships, the airy side of Libra and Venus, but also there's something about resources. But beauty, relationships, values, resources are themes that will permeate the next week. This is a sign that wants fairness and balance. People with strong Libra energy will, if offered a piece of cake and they want to share it with someone, they will cut the cake in half and let the other person choose which piece they want. Someone who's cultured, interested in art. A lot of lawyers have strong Libra energy, or negotiators or diplomats. Politicians often have Libra energy. And Gavin Newsom and his wife are a Libra couple. They're both elegant, tall, slender, very much look like people out of a magazine, both on TV and in person. And he is a Libra sun. This is the first quarter moon that tracks back in the moon phase family to the solar eclipse of October 2nd, 2024, when the sun and the moon were both at 10 Libra. So if there was a big story for you around that time, perhaps it dealt with a relationship. Now we're coming to the first quarter moon. Back then, what I remember is we had the presidential debates, and then there was talk about eating the dogs, eating the cat. So, will there be a story about the Haitian immigrants related to Ohio? Or will there continue to be information coming out about irregularities about the 2024 election? A lawsuit was filed by Smart Legislation that centers on voting machines in Rockland County, Ramapo, New York, where ballots marked for Kamala Harris showed 0 in the official tallies. However, there were a lot of ballots marked for Kristen Sinema, who is the Senate candidate on the Democratic side. So there are people pushing for a recount to determine whether there was a technical failure or unapproved software changes caused the strange drop off. And there's a hearing scheduled for September 22nd, which is the day after the solar eclipse at 29 Virgo, which really speaks to, with the South Node in Virgo, digging through data to find information. Now, the full moon of this cycle will be April 1st of 2026, where the sun will be in Aries and the moon in Libra, both at 12 degrees. And the last quarter moon, where the sun in Capricorn and the moon in Libra, December 30th, 2026, at 9 degrees of each of the respective signs. The first quarter moon is a time of action. So notice if any big court cases are filed. Venus will be at 27 degrees at this first quarter moon, which is 1 degree away from the fixed star Algol, which is at 26 degrees of Taurus. This is the beheading star, and it is aligned with the Medusa myth. Medusa was a beautiful maiden who was attacked in Athena's temple by Poseidon, sexually assaulted, and punished for it, and turned into a monster where anyone who looked at her would turn into stone. And Perseus beheaded her and used her head as a weapon. So there are many layers to this mythology, one of which is patriarchal punishment about the silencing and demonization of women. Another one is about female rage and protection. Her image has become a symbol of defense, not just destruction. It's used on shields and doors to ward off evil. She represents the shadow feminine, what is rejected or feared or wounded in the psychological nature of the feminine mystique. And also female empowerment, the strength of being a survivor. It's a reclamation of these themes. Bernadette Brady, in one of her books, talks about how Algol is not evil. It's about what men fear about women's female power, especially sexuality. I think Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, so She's over our spy agencies, and she has this like white streak in her hair that when I look at her, she really looks like Medusa, a modern day Medusa. And Venus rules the midheaven of the United States, which is the executive branch. And it's about to meet Uranus, which is at 29 degrees of Taurus, a degree of crisis and decay. So there may be a story of upheaval in the administration where someone is fired. So a figurative beheading. The sun at 11 Cancer translates to the Three of Cups tarot card. This is a card of celebration and friendship when you get it right side up, but it can be three as a crowd if you pull it and it's upside down. The Sabian symbol is a Chinese woman nursing a baby whose aura reveals him to be the reincarnation of a great teacher. To me, this gives themes of nurturing your potential. Your children may not just be literal children, they could be your projects or anything else you want to grow. It makes me think of themes of the Dalai Lama or some kind of spiritual leader may make news. The moon at 11 Libra is the Three of Swords tarot card. This is the grief and heartbreak card. The Sabian symbols is miners emerging from a coal mine. So that gives themes of the cave, which is very Plutonic. So the subconscious, where we face our deepest fears or things we'd rather disown about ourselves. I got something about data miners. So there could be news about data being stolen or another lawsuit or case about the election or these voting machines that people are questioning and wanting additional hand counts of ballots, not just in Rockland County. But this is a time where emotions may run high with relationships, especially since Jupiter is in Cancer. So Jupiter expands emotions, and Cancer can be very protective. This could be people at a disco, I get, and someone thinks another person is giving a look or flirting with their spouse, and ooh, Venus, Uranus, they make a scene in public, could be possible. We may be hearing about high profile breakups. It could be a company breaks up, a couple breaks up, two different countries have a fight, things like that. This is the first quarter moon. By this time, the president should be deciding whether we are getting involved in war or not. The next thing I want to make you aware of is that Venus will transit through the sign of Gemini from July 4th to July 30th. Gemini is mutable air. It's quick, lots of chatter, lots of talking. This energy is fantastic for getting together with your friends or neighbors. Maybe you'll get a surprise invitation to a cookout because on this day, Venus meets Uranus and then moves into Gemini. Now, there are supposed to be protests against the administration on this day, a follow-up of the No Kings protests, but I wonder if they will take on the nature of being more a peace protest. Uranus rules protests, Venus rules peace, people trying to make their voices heard that they want the U.S. to stay out of the war. Now, going from Taurus, fixed earth, to Gemini, mutable air, is a big energetic shift that adds a layer of rapid movement, mental stimulation, media buzz. There could be a story about someone who is really well known. I'm not sure what's going on with the Sean Combs trial. If it ends on the 3rd, there could be a lot of news about it on the 4th. But notice if there's someone who makes a surprise public appearance who's really well known and well liked at a protest or gives a speech somewhere that people really are, whether it's inspired by or shocked by, they're spreading it around and something could go really viral. We could be hearing about upheaval of a group of people together. Just be careful if you're somewhere where there is masses of people. Trust your gut. Nightclubs and things are something I personally would stay out of on this day. People could just be a little bit out of control. The next thing I want to make you aware of is that Neptune stations at 2 degrees of Aries on July 4th as well. Neptune is the planet of illusions, delusions, confusion, deception. And this is why I'm really warning about staying out of nightclubs. On this day, you've got Venus, Uranus, which can suggest upheaval, and then Venus moves into Gemini, and Neptune stations retrograde, all on the same day. So there's going to be some big news where something comes out of nowhere surprising. Now, this could be that someone sets off fireworks and they start a brush fire or something like that. But Neptune in Aries, a fire sign, things could be confused, people drinking. It can get a little out of hand. So I just people don't realize how intoxicated they're getting, and the desire to escape gets really big and conflict can ensue. Retrogrades are an optical illusion where a planet turns around and moves backward through the zodiac, essentially. It's an optical illusion where it looks like it stops and goes backwards. Retrogrades pull back the tape and we can see something that's underneath. So this can be dissolving the illusion around war, conflict, or leadership. It's almost like a veil is being lifted and we can see what's underneath. There could be really surprising headlines. There could be a big story about fire, Aries, water, Neptune, or fire on water. Stories could come together. But there will be a story that encompasses this flow of energy. If you are embarking on a new journey, experiencing a major life event, feeling stuck, trying to make a difficult decision, or just looking to make positive changes, astrology can provide life-changing insights. There are several ways to work with me. You can come for a 60 or 90-minute astrology consultation depending on your needs. Engage in longer-term cosmic success coaching where we work together on a 3-month basis to help you overcome blocks, improve your life satisfaction, build better relationships, accomplish your career goals, and understand yourself better using the tool of astrology. Or mystic mentoring if you're an aspiring astrologer and want help with chart analysis techniques. Go to astrologybyceleste.com to check out my offerings. If you have any questions, you can email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com. On Sunday, the word of the day is showdown. Mercury in Leo is opposite Pluto in Aquarius, both at 3 degrees. I get the image of a power outage, and the moon in Leo squares Uranus and Taurus, both at 29 degrees. So someone could be at like a Broadway play and the lights go out or something like that, or anywhere where you're enjoying yourself, watching a performance, and then for some reason there's a disruption, whether it's due to a storm or just whatever, communications are down. The Virgo moon begins at 4:43 p.m. Pacific time. Virgo is an earth sign that rules the details. It's orderly. It's get up and follow each other out of the building. And the usher is using a flashlight to help people file orderly out of a building. And they're mad. The moon meets Mars at 7 degrees of Virgo on this day because they didn't get to see the rest of the show. This is the day Mercury enters its shadow at 4 Leo. So if this was you at some kind of performance or play and there was technical difficulties, you may get your refund for the money you spent. Mercury rules commerce in when Mercury actually goes retrograde later on in July. On Monday, the word of the day is indigestion. The moon in Virgo meets the south node at 21 degrees. Virgo rules the intestines, and with the moon meeting Mars, like you could have eaten something that feels a little upset in your stomach. On Tuesday, the word of the day is blunt. The Libra moon begins at 2:16 p.m. Pacific time. Libra is an air sign. Air communicates and connects. Someone gets up ready to give an elegant, extensive presentation about something, and then the moon is opposite Saturn and then Neptune in Aries, and they're told to pick up the speed, get to the point. On Wednesday, the word of the day is mushy. It's the first quarter moon with the sun in Cancer and the moon in Libra, both at 11 degrees at 12:29 p.m. Pacific time. First quarter moons are a time to take action. Libra is a sign of relationships. With Venus approaching a conjunction in Uranus, somebody could be getting down on bended knee and proposing, and it could be really mushy, where they're very emotionally expressive Cancer about the love they have for you, Libra. And I'm getting like a Shakespeare sonnet. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. This could be lovely energy. On Thursday, the word of the day is embrace. So say you got engaged yesterday and you're showing everybody your ring. People are hugging you and giving you congratulations. Now, this could also be someone had a conflict with a loved one and they're upset. With the moon opposite Chiron and Aries on this day, someone may need a hug. Chiron's the wounded healer. So people may be emotional. Just do what you can to be supportive with kind words if possible. And the extra emotion is coming from Jupiter being in Cancer is symbolic of an expansion of emotions. Mars and Virgo, people can be more critical, and this can leave people feeling a little hurt or wounded. On Friday, the word of the day is fireworks. This is the 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. People will be in the streets protesting. I don't know if it'll be as big as the King's Day protest, but we shall see. I expect we'll see more signs about peace. I need to get my act together early. Last protest, I just wrote on a piece of paper, my sign was pitiful, so I need to get my sign together ahead of time. The Scorpio moon begins at 2:32 a.m. Scorpio is deep waters. It's intense. There are power struggles possible. Shadows will be explored. Things may come to your conscious attention about how you react when you feel like someone's taking something that's yours or grabbed just a ton of stuff off the table where you're sharing food and you feel like I didn't get my portion. With Venus and Taurus conjunct Uranus on this day, You may have walked out the room and there was plenty of cake. You come back and it's all gone, and you have an emotional reaction, internal rage about the fact you did not get any cake. You may see couples fighting. This could be a meet cute with Venus and Uranus talking. Things can go either way. They can be positive or a disruption. The energy is merged. And if you want to know what the likelihood of your experience will be, if you have Venus and Uranus talking in your chart, are they making a smooth trine? Are they in square? Are they in a harmonious sextile? That can speak to whether you're more likely to have something positive or negative happen on this day. I would recommend watching about your intake of any substances. Venus enters the sign of Gemini at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. So it's a really good time to get together with people, connect, discuss your values. You can be lighthearted and laughing. Now, the Scorpio moon squares Pluto, so some people are going to be very emotionally intense for some reason, or experiencing emotional intensity. And Neptune stations retrograde on this day. There can be some big thing where Neptune rules gas and Aries is fire. So just be very mindful and paying attention around the grill. This is not a great day to deep fry a turkey or something like that. I don't think people do that on 4th of July. But be really careful with fire and fireworks. Gemini rules the fingers. You want to keep all 10 of yours if you have 10. So be extra careful. With Neptune stationing, the urge to escape can be extra strong. So be mindful about how much you're imbibing, or maybe stay away from somebody who's had too much to drink. Watch your surroundings if you're in a big crowd, and protect your drink if you're in a bar. On Saturday, the word of the day is shallow. The Scorpio moon is trine the Cancer sun. This is smooth, easy flowing energy. Scorpio likes to keep things deep, but I don't know why I got the word shallow. That is just the word, like the shallows. Like if you're walking into the ocean, like you're close to the shore, or you're at the shallow end of the pool. That is just the word that came to me. And the song Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper sing in A Star is Born is in the shallows. So that song came to me. So that's it for this week's episode. Feel free to email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com with any astrology and action stories, or let me know how the daily themes are playing out for you. Take care, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening to Celestial Insights. To learn more about my work, please visit my website, astrologybyceleste.com, where I offer personal readings, horary consultations, cosmic coaching, group events, and classes to help guide people to higher levels of fulfillment. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Astrology by Celeste. If you enjoyed Celestial Insights, please help others find the show. Follow, rate it 5 stars, or write a nice review. I would so appreciate it. I'm astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks, and I'll be back next week.